Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda, broadcasting to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Our first questioner says, I was wondering how to pray and when to pray when I shall be traveling. So, in essence, the questioner is asking about the period of shortening the prayer that we are allowed to do and how to pray a prayer that is 4 rak'ah. First of all, Allah Azza wa Jal has given us a gift, and that is whenever we travel, we are permitted to shorten the 4 rak'ah prayers, that is Dhuhr, Asr or Isha, into praying them into 2 rak'ahs only, while Maghrib and Fajr remain as they are, unchanged. Now, when does this start? This begins or starts when a person leaves his hometown. So if you're residing in London, the minute you leave the outskirts of London, you leave the city of London and you are on the highway, you can start to shorten your prayer. If you're in Jeddah, the minute you leave the borders of Jeddah, then you may start to shorten your prayer. And you pray the 4 rak'ahs into 2 as explained earlier. Can you combine? The answer is yes. You can combine either Dhuhr with Asr at the Asr time or Asr with Dhuhr at the Dhuhr time. And you can also combine Maghrib with Isha either at Isha time or combine Isha to Maghrib at Maghrib time. Fajr has to be prayed on time. The second questioner says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I am junub on Friday, the meaning of the word junub is the major ritual impurity that results either from sexual intercourse, ejaculation, or when a woman in her menses or postnatal bleeding is pure from this bleeding. In this case, she has to take this major ritual ghusl or bath to uplift this major ritual impurity. So he says that if I am junub on a Friday and I needed to cleanse myself and I equally want to perform ghusl of Jum'ah, of Friday, will I perform 2 ghusls or 1 with the intention for both situations? The issue of ghusl of Friday is an issue of dispute. Scholars differed. Some say that it is mandatory, and others say that it is highly recommended. I personally believe that it is highly recommended. Therefore, 1 ghusl suffices for the ghusl for uplifting your ritual impurity, your janaba, and it also suffices for the ghusl of Friday. The third questioner says that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If a person's married daughter goes for Umrah with her husband, she performs her Umrah and then performs Umrah for her senile father, is it necessary that the father should sponsor her for his Umrah, just as in case of Hajj? Jazakallahu khairan wa barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu fikum. There are a number of issues in this question. First of all, is it mandatory that I sponsor my Umrah or my Hajj from my own money? Or can someone give it to me as a gift or as a charity? Or any other way? The answer is there is no evidence stating that you have to pay for your Hajj or for your Umrah from your own money. So if someone volunteers and says, listen, I'll take you full board and I'll pay for it, for your Hajj, this is a gift, alhamdulillah. If there's an organization that says, listen, we have 10 free seats, 10 free slots, I'll give you one of them, alhamdulillah, this came as a gift, there's no problem. If someone gave you as a charity and you want to go for Umrah or for Hajj, there is nothing wrong in that, none whatsoever. So there is no problem for the father if his daughter is going to do Umrah and she's paying that from her own money on his behalf. Now the second issue is, what's the ruling on making a second Umrah in the same journey? The majority of scholars and the companions of the Prophet ﷺ before that used to dislike having 2 Umrahs or more in one journey or in one trip. And this is why they would only restrict themselves to 1 Umrah per trip, so that the house of Allah would not be abandoned and people would not stop going to it. They would frequently keep on going and visiting it. And some scholars say, no, if someone comes like once in a lifetime or once every blue moon, he's not frequently coming, maybe once every 10 years, he doesn't know when he's going to come back next, and he wants to make another Umrah for his father, for his grandfather, for his mother, then it's permissible. And he has to go to Aisha Masjid or Tan'im to make his second Ihram after his first Ihram from the original Miqat. The third and final issue is regarding, can a man or a woman make Umrah on behalf of someone else who is alive? It's an issue of dispute among scholars. The most authentic opinion is that if the person is capable and does not go for Umrah himself, he cannot deputize anyone else. But if he is deceased, you can do Umrah without any exception or difference of opinion. And if he's not deceased, if he's alive but he is unable due to age or due to illness, and this is permanent, it's not going to be uplifted soon, he's permanently ill and he's not going to be able ever to go and make Umrah, the most authentic opinion is that it is permissible, inshallah. Amin from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Sir, please, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
One of the question is, I'm following an imam.
Okay.
And maybe, for example, during Asr or Zuhur prayer, and I read Fatiha. After reading Fatiha, I stopped. So, and there was a time I read Fatiha, and I also mistakenly read also a verse from the Quran. So I want to know, in this case, am I going to do sujood qabli or ba'di in it, or if I didn't do it, my prayer is okay?
Second.
And my second question is the authenticity of, if someone, my wife put to bed, she put to bed on Thursday afternoon around 2 p.m. And I want to know the authenticity of which date am I going to start counting from for the Adha, for the slaughtering of the ram, sir.
I didn't understand your second question, Akhi.
Okay, my wife put to bed on Thursday, last week Thursday, madam.
She gave
around
birth.
2 p.m.
She gave birth, yani.
Yes, she gave birth, sir.
Okay, on Thursday?
Yes, around 2 p.m., sir.
Okay.
So I want to know, from when am I going to start counting for the birth ceremony, sir?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, Akhi. Amin from Nigeria, he says that if I'm praying behind an imam, Dhuhr or Asr prayer, and it's a silent prayer, so I read the Fatiha, and then by mistake I read a surah, or I did not read a surah, or I read a verse, or I didn't read a verse. So should I prostrate the 2 prostration of forgetfulness before the salam or after the salam? There are 2 issues, maybe more, I don't know. I'll just focus on 2 issues. If something come up, I'm going to tell you about it, inshallah. The first issue is, when you're praying behind an imam and you make a mistake, if you started with the imam from the beginning, Yani you prayed with him the first rak'ah onwards, whatever mistake you make, the Imam takes that and covers you for it, unless you leave a pillar. So if you forgot something that is mandatory, there's no problem, there's no sujood on you. For example, the Imam sits in the second rak'ah for tashahhud, unintentionally you stood up and started reciting the Fatiha, and then all of a sudden you opened your eyes and everybody is sitting. Whoops, sorry, you sit down. So you've added a rak'ah, you added the Fatiha, but this was unintentional. The Imam takes that on your behalf and he is the guarantor. You don't have to do anything. The second issue is the ruling on reciting after the Fatiha. It is highly recommended that you do not stand idle. So if you recite the Fatiha in the first or the second rak'ah with the Imam, definitely he will leave a long pause after the Fatiha, which you must and you should read a surah. But what about the third and fourth rak'ah? If I recited the Fatiha and the Imam did not go for ruku', he did not bow yet, I should not stand idle. I should recite surahs, verses of the Quran without any problem at all. So I hope this answers your question, Brother Amin. His second question is that Allah blessed him with a child and his wife gave birth on Thursday, 2 p.m. So 2 in the afternoon. He says, when should we begin with the ceremony of giving birth? Meaning, when is the 7th day where we should name the child? If he's a boy, when we will circumcise him? When will we shave his or her head and then weight in silver and give it to charity? And when will we slaughter the aqiqah? The udhiyah is an Eid, but the aqiqah is for the slaughtering of the child. The answer is on the 7th day. So if she gave birth on Thursday, you would do this on the coming Wednesday, 7th day from the birth of the child. So Wednesday is the date that you should do this, inshallah. The third question from the emails, if a person's, okay, we've gone through that. The fourth question actually. It says, a contracting company forced to give commission for his position to award contract. The job is done as per requirement, no compromise on material or workmanship. The tricky part comes while billing. Either they request a quantity increase or increase the area you worked to adjust their cutbacks. This has become the norm in almost all departments. Then how to keep our earnings halal? First of all, we have Mahdi. Let's take Mahdi's questions first and then I'll answer this. Mahdi?
Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I want to ask, nowadays some people, they are sending me, on the iPhone or through WhatsApp, Juma Mubarak.
Okay.
How far it's true? I think it's, I want to know your opinion on this, Sheikh.
Okay, I will answer you. Any more questions, Mahdi?
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes.
I talked to you last time about my sister. She has 2 beautiful daughters. They are very young, but somehow they are not interested in doing anything. They just studied up to 10 standard, and they always do some naughty things at home. And especially parents are very much worried. So I want to talk to you in person, Sheikh, if I could get your personal number. Okay. I will appreciate that.
Okay, I hope that brothers in the control will give you my mobile number, inshallah.
Last time I tried, Sheikh, but I was unable to get the number.
Okay, you can send me an email or take the number online, 0505 6465 94.
Sir, just hold on. Sir, let me get the pen. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Yeah.
0505
0505
6465.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
6465
6465
94.
94. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
I appreciate it.
Hayyak Allah. Ujazak. Brother Mahdi is asking about some. Okay, before we go to Brother Mahdi's question, so let us go back to the questioner. He says that he has a contracting company, like a lot of people do, but the thing is that whenever he applies for a bid, the purchasing department or the contracts department in the bigger company says, listen, I will not give you and award you the contract unless you give me my cut. So what they do, because he says that we are forced to do this, they agree giving him like $100,000 for a $10 million dollar contract. But then what they do is they know that the company would ask for a change of an increase of quantity or a change in the area, so they will add more so that they would compensate for the 100,000 given in commission. So what is the ruling on that? All of this is haram, totally haram. Now those who are in the purchasing department, and there are a lot, and I know people are so corrupt in the purchasing department, because people come to them with samples and they take samples home free of charge. They take free tickets, they take invitations to seminars, and all of this is actually camouflaging bribe. Because if this person was in HR, nobody would give him anything. If he was in security department, nobody would even look at him, not give him a single pen, most likely. But because of his position, they're giving him these facilities and these gifts. Like in the pharmaceutical companies. A lot of the pharmaceutical companies give bribes like crazy, especially to doctors, so that they would promote their medication. So they come to the doctor and they say, and that's why you see them in hospitals a lot, carrying their bags in fancy suits. And they go, and I've heard this from doctors telling me this. They say that they give us like 3 days invitation to seminar in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt or in Dubai. And this is nonsense. There's no seminar, nothing. And you bring the family and the kids, and we give you business class tickets and your hotel accommodation, etc. All of these are bribes, haram. So for you to give the purchasing department a commission, this is totally prohibited. And for you to forge or to increase in the invoicing so that you'd compensate for that, it's even cheating. One has to make his earning halal, fear Allah Azza wa Jal. Report these people. See, we always put a lid on it. If we can record it, if we can prove it, you have to blow the whistle on these thieves in these corporates and these companies and expose them to the people. Don't always put your head down. Try your level best to change this evil and this vice and be productive, be positive in your community. But rather for your greed of winning a contract and making some profit, you turn the other cheek. This is totally wrong. Khadija from Gambia. Khadija, listen to me from the phone, please, and mute your television.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
The man just called and then asked that if the child, if his wife gave back on Thursday, and then the following Thursday, some did the ceremony, is it haram or?
What kind of ceremony are you referring to, Ya Khadija? Okay, I will answer that question, though I did not understand it fully. Okay, Khadija is saying that the man who called about the ceremony of birth, yes, there isn't any ceremony per se, but most likely people, when they're blessed with a child, on the 7th day, they would slaughter a sheep for one girl, or they would slaughter 2 sheep for a boy, depending on what Allah has blessed them with. And usually they would call their relatives, their friends to feast and to eat. This is part of the sunnah. There's nothing wrong in that, inshallah. But to make a big ceremony or to make a celebration in a hotel and pay money lavishly and with extravagance. No, this is not part of the sunnah, and Allah knows best. The fifth question is from a teacher, and she says, I'm a kindergarten teacher at a Muslim kindergarten in Singapore. Is it permissible to take photographs of children and people for documentation purposes? Often these photos are put up on display and have children draw pictures of themselves, other people and animals as part of the learning process, as per the curriculum here. Okay, before answering this question, we have Nishi from Egypt. Nishi?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I have a very important question. I want to ask if there is a time for, suppose I prayed Dhuhr and I have important work and I have to go to somewhere where I can pray my Asr. Can I pray Asr before the Adhan? I hear the Adhan. If the waqt have started for Asr, can I pray before hearing the Adhan?
What is the reason?
Like I feel that I won't be in a comfortable place where I can perform my prayer. So I want to pray before I go to a particular place or for my health or whatever is the reason. Can I do that? Or I have to wait for the Adhan?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. So the teacher is asking, what's the ruling on taking photographs for documentation? The answer is it's an issue of dispute among scholars whether photographing is permissible or not. I personally follow the opinion that photography is permissible, except taking photographs of women. This is totally prohibited, even if she's your wife or your mother or your sister. If she's a woman, a grown-up woman, this is haram. And also for the deceased, you cannot have these photographs. Now, asking the children to draw, this is not permissible. Asking the children to draw themselves, to draw pictures, animals, this is totally prohibited, because we know that the prohibition of the Prophet ﷺ from making portraits or drawing living creatures. And he said ﷺ that the most people being severely punished on the Day of Judgment are those who create such pictures. So drawing them is totally prohibited. We must not encourage the children to do that. Whether of animals, fish, birds, or human beings, this is totally prohibited. Farhat from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask, can we read Quran during the month of Ramzan while we have periods by wearing gloves or not touching the Quran directly?
Okay.
Only in the month of Ramzan. And my second question was, some medicines, they have self-generated alcohol in them. Means after keeping for a while, alcohol gets generated in them on its own. Alcohol is not added into it directly. So can we take that medicine? Is it allowed?
So you're talking about normal medication?
Sorry?
Are you talking about a normal medication that has alcohol in it?
Yeah, means alcohol is not added into it. But after keeping it for a while, alcohol gets generated into it on its own.
Okay.
So can we take those medicines?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Okay, jazakallah.
Wajazak. Okay, Nishi's question from Egypt, that she wants to pray Asr at the time of Dhuhr, due to the fact that she will go to a place and she doesn't feel comfortable praying there. And the answer is, you must pray each prayer on time. Combining a prayer to another is permissible for a traveler. It is also permissible for someone who is residing only if he has a legitimate reason. Someone is undergoing a surgery and he will miss Dhuhr prayer. Can he pray it when he wakes up with Asr? The answer is yes. This is a legitimate reason. A doctor, a surgeon, must he go and pray Maghrib on time or and leave the patient open? No, you can go and perform your prayer. Someone who has once in a year exam and it's 4 hours and they would not let him out, and they would not let him off his seat. Yes, you can combine prayer to a prayer because this is a necessity. When it rains and it's muddy, this is a necessity. But if you go to a place you feel embarrassed or not at ease, no, this is not a legitimate reason. Allah knows best. Abdul Kareem from Saudi.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I wanted to know if backbiting is like, if you're talking about a group of people, is that permissible or you should refrain? And second question...
Can you give an example?
Like, for suppose you see a shop and the shopkeeper is there and you say that, oh no, they like really like loot the customers and fake up the prices.
Okay.
You know, something like that.
Okay.
And second question regarding backbiting is like, if there's someone talking in front of you, what's the best way? Like, is it that you praise the person who's being backbitten and say, no, this is not the fact, even he's a good person like this, or you should just listen to it?
Okay. I will answer you, inshallah. Okay, I think we have a short break. Stay tuned. Inshallah, we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Farhat from Saudi Arabia said, what's the ruling, especially in Ramadan only, for a woman in her menses to hold the Quran wearing gloves? If there is a partition, there is no problem in touching the Quran with the gloves, whether it is in Ramadan or any other month of the year. However, now, alhamdulillah, with the new technology, when we have the PDAs, the mobile phones, the computers, you can recite the Quran from there without any problem at all, inshallah. We have Abdul Majid.
Hello?
Yes, Abdul Majid.
Yes, my friend. Can I ask now?
Yes, please.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Brother, I have a question that how many names are mandatory for a child to name? Because I named my son one name, Abdul Rahim, and some people are saying that you have to keep another name minimum. 2 names are necessary. So
Okay.
what is the ruling in Islam? I mean, 2 names or 1 name is enough?
Okay, any more questions?
And another question is also there.
Yes.
Can I ask now?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what is the ruling on taqlid? I came to know that most of the ulama in India are basically belong to one or another imam, one of the 4 imams. And the people saying you cannot follow taqlid, I mean, without referring to hadith and Quran. And even for the normal people like me, I don't know, even if they refer to some ulama, refer to any hadith and Quran, I don't know how to verify it. Is a weak hadith or acceptable or sahih, I don't know. So I cannot, I mean, even if some ulama give the reference, I cannot verify it. So, I mean, what is the ruling on taqlid? Some people say it's haram. I mean, you cannot go and ask any ulama and accept it as it is. So, what is the ruling on this taqlid issue? I don't know.
Okay.
Please, if you can throw
I
some
will
light
answer
on
you.
this.
I will answer Abdul Majid.
Yeah.
Farhat's second question is about, which is a little bit awkward for me because I'm unable to imagine it. She says that some medication that do not include alcohol, but after leaving them for some time, it generates alcohol by itself. I can't imagine this because I'm not a specialist in chemistry. Maybe if it's a juice, it can turn into wine after some time if you add something to it. And she says, can we take these medications? First of all, I don't think at all it is healthy to take such a medication, because if it adds something from itself, whether it's alcohol or something else, this means that it has expired. Secondly, even hypothetically speaking, if it's not dangerous and you can take it, if the percentage of alcohol in it would lead to intoxication, in this case, it is prohibited for you to take it because it would take the same ruling of wine, and hence one should not do this, and Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best. We have Shamim from Saudi.
Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh Hassim.
Salam alaikum wa barakatuh.
Sheikh Hassim, I don't have any question, but I have a little request for you.
Yes.
Last week I told you that my mother-in-law was in problem and I helped her, and she's a non-Muslim.
Okay.
I was able to convince her to read Quran, and I have sent her a copy of Quran with Malayalam translation.
Okay.
And she has started reading it. So I want you and all the viewers to pray that Allah bless her with guidance and she becomes Muslim. That is all.
Okay. Inshallah. I will, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
حياك الله أخي. أهلا وسهلا. Abdul Karim from Saudi Arabia, she says that what's the ruling on backbiting of a group, not an individual? And when I asked her for an example, she said that we may pass by a mall, a shopping area, a supermarket, and I say that this place is a ripoff. They exaggerate the prices and they would rip your money off. And I'm not pointing at a specific person. If what you're saying is true, then inshallah this is not backbiting because you're not mentioning someone by name, and Allah knows best. And she says, if someone backbites another person in front of me, what should I do? Should I praise that person who's being backbitten, or should I do what? The essential or the default is that you stop the person backbiting. So I'm sitting with my brother and my brother says, listen, our cousin, he is fat, short and ugly. And I'll tell him, Akhi, fear Allah, don't mention our cousin with anything. He said, yeah, but this is true. This is haram. You are not allowed to do this. Yeah, but if he insists, I leave and go. And if he stops, alhamdulillah, there is nothing with that. Maybe I just gave him an advice. And so when someone backbites a person in front of you, if he is saying false things about him and you know the truth is otherwise, then you defend him. So if he says that, oh, this person is a crook, I saw him embezzle money, he was cheating, and you know that this is not right. He said, no, ya khifir Allah. I know the situation and I know the case. I was there, I was witnessing. He didn't do anything wrong and I vouch for him. This is defending your brother in his absence. This is good. And if he's just slandering or just saying things about him without any justification, in this case, you simply stop him, and if he doesn't stop, you leave. Abdul Majid, question is, how many names should we give our children? Because he has a boy, and I think he called him Abdul Rahim, and they told him, no, you have to add another name to that. This is baseless, totally bogus, has no value, no origin, none whatsoever. A lot of the people from the subcontinent especially, and from some countries like Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, they think that adding the name to the name of a child is a blessing, barakah. So if my name is Asim, they call me Muhammad Asim. If my name is Saeed, Muhammad Saeed. If Abdul Rahim, Muhammad Abdul Rahim. And so on. And this is totally misleading, totally baseless, it has no foundation in Islam. Your name is one name. There's no compounded names found in Sharia. Abdul Wahab from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Salamullah.
I have three questions to ask.
Yes.
My first question is, what is the Islamic ruling on pointing the finger in tashahhud?
But on what?
The Islamic ruling on pointing the finger in tashahhud, pointing the finger in tashahhud.
Okay. Second question?
My second question. Okay, my second question is about making decoration with Islamic, Quranic verses at home. Is it permissible?
Making corrections or decoration?
Decoration.
Okay,
decorations.
Okay. Third question?
My third question is about Qibla. If I find myself in a place where locating the Qibla is very difficult for me, where will I turn and pray? Should I wait for someone to guide me, or should I just pray in any direction?
Okay. I will answer you, inshallah, Abdul Wahab.
Okay, thank you.
Hayyakallah. Abdul Majid's second question, he's saying that we've heard so many things from people about the issue of taqleed, of following an imam or imitating an imam, and we have four schools of thought. Some people say, no, you have to refer to the Quran and Sunnah. but I don't have any means of verification whether this is a verse of the Quran, or it means this, or it was abrogated, or the hadith is authentic or not. So what to do? Akhi, people are either students of knowledge who have knowledge in Arabic or some of it, who have knowledge in Quran, hadith or some of it. So they're able to differentiate between what is right and wrong through cross-examining the four schools of thought or different scholars' opinions. For such people, they cannot imitate, they cannot blindly follow an imam, because Allah has blessed them with some knowledge and they can search the origin where the imam obtained his verdicts from. So they can cross-examine whether they are correct or not. And there are people who are laymen. When it comes to Quran and Sunnah, they have zero knowledge. And they can even, some of them, and I've seen this, they can't even tell whether it's hadith or an ayah. They can't differentiate. So for such people who are unable to know what Allah wants from them, they should choose one imam, one scholar whom they trust, his religion, his piety, his righteousness, his ethics. Once they trust this person, they obey him and follow him and whatever they say, and this is between him and Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the best of their ability. But to cherry pick for those laymen, say, let's see, my wife wants to go to London and she doesn't have a mahram. Let me check the satellite channel. Channel 1 says it's haram. She could not travel without a mahram. This Huda, they follow the Quran and Sunnah. Leave them. Let's go to channel 2 and you see women dancing and men singing and playing music. This is an Islamic channel. And one sheikh comes and says, yeah, if she's with a trustworthy company in an airplane, who would rape her in an airplane? It's okay, let her go to London. Maybe let her go to the US as well. I said, this is good. I'll follow this opinion. No, this is cherry picking. This is haram, and you're making a major sin. You're playing with Allah's religion. If you don't have knowledge, just follow one person, one sheikh, one alim whom you trust. And don't go cherry picking left, right, and center. If we have Al Hassan from Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
Hassan, yes, what can I do for you?
Okay, yes, sir. I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
My question is that I have problem whenever I go to urinate myself. I have to use myself. When I urinate, I use water to pure myself.
Okay.
But up to 10 times, I can use more than 10 times. When I pour water, supposing I finish the urinating, I put water, I wash myself. Whenever I stand, I hear another is coming out again. I go back, I urinate.
Okay, I got your question, Hassan. I will answer it, inshaAllah. Shamim from Saudi Arabia, his mother-in-law is not Muslim. He sent her a copy of the translation of the Quran, and he asks us for dua, and we pray to Allah the Almighty with His beautiful names and attributes that He opens her heart to the light of Islam and that He guides her to accept Islam, her and every other non-Muslim that we know of. Ameen. Abdul Wahab from Nigeria says, what is the ruling on pointing the finger in tashahhud? The hadith of Wa'il ibn Hujr, may Allah be pleased with him, stated that the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he sat for tashahhud, he used to point his finger and move it and supplicate with it. So it is the sunnah to move your finger to first of all make a ring with your pinky finger and as if you're making a fist with the finger next to it. The middle finger and the thumb, you make a ring like this, and then you point the index finger and you move it in its place, shaking it as it's shivering from the beginning of your seating till you end your salam. And just say Attahiyatullah wa salatu wa tayyibat, assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh till the end. This is the sunnah. Muhammad from Kenya.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
I wanted to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Can a person get married without using his father's name, or can she use his
Who's getting married, my friend? I forgot your name. Muhammad. Who's getting married?
The man.
Okay, and he doesn't want to use his name?
He doesn't want to use his father's name.
Reasons?
The man, he doesn't use his father's name. Or the woman doesn't use her father's name in getting married.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Okay, shukran.
Hayyak Allah. The second question of Brother Abdul Wahab from Nigeria is, what's the ruling on using Quran to decorate the house, the room, the office? The answer is, this is prohibited. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, when the time comes for you to beautify your copies of the Quran and to decorate your masajid, Allah would befall, or Allah Azza wa Jalla would throw the destruction upon you. And Quran was revealed so that we can contemplate, contemplate on the verses, that we understand it and implement it in our lives, not to take it as a decoration and put it as a souvenir. This is not what it was meant to be. So no, it is not permissible for us to do that. We have Salim from Oman.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I want to have concern with housemaid. So we are having an housemaid which are Christians or Jewish, that they are non-Muslims. What is the concern of this? And they are cooking for us food, and we are sitting with them at the house.
Any more questions?
No, that's all.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Abdul Wahab, third question was, if I am in a country and I'm unable to know where the Qibla is, so what to do? First of all, facing the Qibla for salat, for prayer, is a condition of the prayer. So if you do not face the Qibla, your prayer is invalid. And I'm talking about a person who's praying the fard. There's a different ruling for the person praying voluntary prayers when he's traveling, when he is on his vehicle or on his ride. But I'm talking about the fard. So basically, it's a condition like wudu, like covering the awra, like purifying your self before praying. It is a condition, you have to fulfill this. Now, if you're in a Muslim country, it is not permissible for you to pray to any place without asking. How to do that? Either go and ask the Muslims where the Qibla is, and if they tell you it's in this direction, you trust them and pray, because he's a Muslim, he already asked you to do it, and you had done it. If you are in a Muslim country and there's no one to ask, you can go to the nearest masjid and see how the masjid is built, and you can directly now know and find the Qibla. But if you are in a strange country, in a non-Muslim country, and you don't have a compass, you don't have a mobile phone that shows you the Qibla, which is maybe highly not possible, but maybe, and there is no one around you to tell you where north, south, east, west is. In this case, if you're totally blinded and you have nothing, no clue, and you exerted all what your effort to find, but you could not, in this case, you have to just make the best assumption, take your gut feeling and pray. And your prayer would be valid only in that case, and Allah knows best. Mubarak from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening to you, Akhi. What can I do for you?
My question is, I'm praying a 4-unit prayer.
Okay.
Maybe Zuhr or Asr.
Yes.
The last rak'ah, as I was about to stand up from the sujood position to go to the last rak'ah, so I raised up as I was doing the takbir, I raised up my hand, but then I realized that this is the fourth rak'ah. Then I immediately cut off the raising up of my hand. After praying this, after fulfilling the 4-unit rak'ah, is there anything that I'm supposed to do?
Okay, I will answer your question.
And again, if I mistakenly raise up the hand fully.
Okay.
Is there anything that I'm going to do?
I understand.
Two questions.
Okay, I will answer you, Mubarak. And Al Hassan from Nigeria, he says that he has a problem when urinating. Akhi, a lot of the people have this problem due to the fact that shaitan comes to you, and he utilizes your weakness. So if you have strength in your iman, he comes to you like this, make it difficult for you. And if you have weakness in your iman, even if you urinate on yourself, he will make you say, no, no, this is okay, this is okay. So you have to be balanced. First of all, men and women have been urinating since Adam and Eve. So this is not rocket science. It is normal. By nature, as Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah says, that urine in a man's private part is like the milk in a woman's breast. If you leave it, it stays. And if you squeeze it, it comes out. So what to do with these feelings? These are the feelings of shaitan. You should urinate, relax. Once the urine is not coming anymore, you do not squeeze your self, you do not squeeze your private part. You just simply pour water on it and sprinkle water on your underwear. And go and leave and make wudu. If you feel something coming out, tell yourself that this is the water that I have sprinkled. 2, maximum 3 days, all these feelings will fly away. Shaitan will stop, but he will come after a couple of months. So he'll give you a rest for a couple of months, and then he will try to whisper to you. This is the best way of doing it, and believe me, it worked 100% with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal. Suhail from Oman.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamtullah.
I just want to know about when we keep this money in bank and bank give interest. So I want to know, can I use this interest to pay my income tax to the government? Or is there any other use where we can use this interest?
Okay, I will answer you inshallah. Muhammad from Kenya said that, can a man marry but without using his father's name, and the woman without using her father's name? The answer is no. If he cannot be identified, then it would be like anyone anonymous coming from Mars or from Venus wanting to get married. Why would someone conceal his identity? Marriage is not of something that is a game. It's something that all your cards should be on the table. You should not hide anything. You should be upfront in telling the truth. You should be proud of your father's name and your family name. So the answer is no, this is not permissible. Salim from Oman says, we have a Christian maid, she cooks for us. Cooking is halal. When a Christian, Hindu, Buddhist cook for you, this does not affect the food. What affects the food is the slaughtering. If she slaughters a chicken, being a Christian or a Jew, this is halal for you to eat. But if it's a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Sikh or whatever, no, it's totally dead meat. It's haram, you cannot eat. So the action of cooking, this has nothing to do with the religion. Now the action of keeping a Christian maid in your home, while there are tens and thousands of Muslims that you can benefit, and their family and their country, then I would definitely say, no, akhi, stick with your brothers and sisters and be positive. We have Niha from Qatar.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamtullah.
Sheikh, I have a question regarding adoption.
Okay.
Sheikh, what is the ruling on adoption we know after the child matures? Will there be a problem regarding parda? What is the other alternative? Some say we should make the child breastfeed with the relatives of either the father or the mother, the would-be father or the mother, and it will be okay.
Okay. How old is the child?
We've just we just have adopted it. So later in the future, is there going to be a problem with the parda?
Yeah. How old is it?
I don't know, Sheikh, actually.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay, the control room says that I have 2 minutes, so I'll try not to take any calls, and I'll try to answer your questions, inshallah. Mubarak from Nigeria says that he was in the 3rd rak'ah, he stood for the 4th, and he raised his hands. Not completely, but he remembered that raising the hands is when you stand up from the 2nd rak'ah to the 3rd, or from the 1st rak'ah to the 2nd. So when do we raise our hands? We raise them in 4 positions. in the takbirat al-ihram and in going to ruku' and raising up from the ruku' and after the second tashahhud, the first tashahhud when I stand up for the third rak'ah. That's all. So he says that raising the hand after the third rak'ah, and there is no raising hands after the third rak'ah when you stand to the fourth. But he did that by mistake, whether fully or halfway. What's the ruling on that? There is nothing wrong in that. Adding things that are not mandatory or pillars in salah, it does not affect the salah and it does not require you to make sujood as-sahu, alhamdulillah. Suhail from Oman says that, what's the ruling on using interest that is accumulated on our bank accounts? Can we use that for our income tax? The answer is no. Because though the income tax you're paying is haram and they are not allowed to take that from you because it's your money, however, using the interests that you get from your savings, haram savings, these are riba, to benefit yourself is haram. So the most authentic opinion is that you may give it on charity, you may help people who are in need for buying the medication, paying the rent, paying electricity bills, those who are poor or needy, and Allah knows best. Niha from Qatar says that they're interested in adopting. I don't think they have adopted. Maybe they have adopted, but she doesn't know the age of the child. So what is the ruling on such an adoption? We've stated this so many times. We don't have any adoption in Islam. We have sponsoring, supporting, raising a child, but the child does not carry our names. He does not inherit from us, and the child is not mahram to us. So once he reaches reaches the age of puberty, then those concerned must cover. So if you adopt, per se, Islamically, a boy, then my wife, when the boy becomes 15 or more years of age, is not, he's not her mahram, and she should cover from him. So how to avoid this? The only way to avoid this is that if the child is below 2 years of age, then your sister or your niece or someone from your close relative, your mother, would breastfeed that boy. So he would become your niece, your nephew, he would become your brother, he would become a mahram to you by suckling within the 2 years of age, and it has to be 5 times or more. If he's a boy, if she's a girl, then your husband has to do the same, because once she is 9, 10 years of age, she has to cover from your husband, unless your husband's family, his sister, his niece, his mother, breastfeeds that girl to become mahram for the boy, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Now, we have a question from the emails. Is there any possibilities that a Muslim boy and a Christian girl got married? If yes, do a Christian girl need to convert? She's concerned. She's Christian and she's interested in marrying a boy. And she's saying that what are the rulings, because she thinks that the difference of religion is prohibited. No, it's not prohibited. Muslim man can marry a Christian, a Jew, or a Muslim woman, providing that they are chaste, they don't have boyfriends. And that is she forced to embrace Islam? No, she's not. She can keep her religion. It is highly recommended that she accepts Islam, and this would be positive for her religion and for her children and for her in-laws, but it is not a must. And Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best. This is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech.